If I had the power to transplant one huge mindset shift from my brain to your brain, it would be the cost of clutter. How much clutter is costing you? The extra stress, the guilt and shame over not keeping your house clean or not cooking as much as you should, not staying on top of your to-do list, and the stress that it causes in our relationships between our kids and our partners and anyone else who happens to live in our home. And it just bothers me so much when women say, well, Dawn, it's because I'm lazy, I'm unorganized, I'm unmotivated. The state of your home right now has nothing to do with motivation. You don't actually even need motivation to keep a home, but it has everything to do with your overwhelmed brain. Your brain has been so overstimulated and overwhelmed and tasked with too much for too long. You haven't been managing a household, you've been managing a warehouse with how much inventory, with how many physical things you have been trying to take care of. You're not unmotivated, you have just been trying to manage way too much stuff. It is not fair. It's not reasonable. So today I do think I have a completely unconventional approach to decluttering, and that is to change the question that we are asking ourselves to say, am I using this today? Is it serving me, my family, my current household today? And if not, I'm gonna give you permission to let it go. Now, this seems radical and over the top. I understand that, but I'm gonna tell you why it's actually very safe, and we have a tool, of course, to help make it even a little safer. And so what I wanna do today is show you this in action. So together, we're gonna go around my mom's entire kitchen. We're gonna look at all the different categories of stuff, and I'm gonna tell you and show you how you can make these decisions so quickly, because we cannot use the old decluttering methods anymore. We don't have the time, energy, or mental bandwidth. And do you know what the best part is? You don't even have to start with a clean kitchen. No way. If you had to clean your kitchen first, then you're not gonna do it, right? By the time you get your kitchen clean, you're gonna be too tired to declutter. Don't worry about it. It works in a dirty kitchen. Why don't we get started? All right, so to get started, start with something fairly easy, and if possible, start in one spot of your kitchen, and we're just gonna work our way around systematically so we don't have to use any extra bandwidth. Now, I'm also gonna give a few non-negotiables along the way. These are what I believe after working with hundreds and thousands of women to declutter their homes and understanding the brain science that goes on behind it. So non-negotiable number one for me is to totally clear off the front of your fridge. And that's something we've been doing here for a long time. And what's important to remember is that we are living in the most overstimulated time in history. Our brains are so overstimulated, and often when we look around our home, our brain has nowhere to stop or rest or to take a break from all of the stuff that we're looking at. And so by clearing the front of your fridge, you're telling yourself there are no to-dos, there's nothing to remember or that I have to process when I look at it. And it's actually a fairly significant amount of square footage in our visual space in our home. Now, I also, if it were my kitchen, which it's not, and my mom is the coolest ever, and anything I'm saying today is just like, oh, if it were my kitchen, that's what I do. It's her kitchen. She can do whatever she wants, right? I would not have this stuff on the side of the fridge. Again, it's just visual noise and stimulation. Now, if you're like, oh, Dawn, I'm a visual organizer, I have to see it or I'm gonna forget it, anything that is living on the front of your fridge can go elsewhere, or it can go into your calendar or something else. So again, this is not, if we're looking at how our brain operates, having reminders and things on the front of the fridge is not the best way to go about it. Again, in my humble opinion, and also based on science. And then also same goes for anything on top of the fridge. Like if you keep your cereal boxes there, oh, if we can please find another spot for them, anything on top of the fridge, it's just, our brain hates it. We'll talk a little bit more about how our brain wants categories and clear boundaries. The top of the fridge does not create a clear boundary unless you have something around it. But again, too stressful, another non-negotiable for me. But let's move down here and we'll talk about the ultimate tool that we have for decluttering. Also, I wanna apologize. I sometimes get a little ranty. I want you to experience a highly simplified home. I can't believe how it's just giving me my confidence back and how easy it is to keep your kitchen clean, to cook, to meal plan, to grocery shop, all of these things. I cannot tell you how much easier they got when we got our house just totally simplified, bare bones. Okay. Now let's talk about the utensil caddy on the counter. This is, again, not a hill I'm gonna die on in my mom's kitchen. If it were my kitchen, it goes off the counter and into a nearby drawer. But the thing that I am feeling a little stressed out by right now is the sheer number of things in here, right? And so this is where our very powerful tool, our trusty time will tell bin comes into play. So a time will tell bin is just an in-between stop between our kitchen and the donation center, right? So if you have things where you're like, I don't know, how many spatulas do I need on? I've never tried having only one. What if I get rid of one and then I need it back again, right? I get it. Our brain has to adjust. We have to get used to living with less. It might feel weird at first, but then we start experiencing it. We're like, this is awesome. Why would I ever go back? Or maybe, I don't think this will happen, but you might be like, oh, darn, I really just wish I had another spatula. I'm gonna go pull it out of the time will tell bin, right? So grab an Amazon box, a Rubbermaid tote, any kind of container like that that you have handy, write time will tell on it, put the date on it, and then I'm gonna show you how this makes it so much easier because your brain is already overwhelmed. The regular decluttering questions and all that make it more overwhelmed, right? So I have my time will tell bin and my utensils. I think you can get by with one of each utensil. I know I'm a little out there, but if you're like, no, I just have to, then go with 2 of each. But I would challenge you to go down at a maximum of 2 of each style. So pancake flippers. I also know the favorite one is dirty in the sink. And so if I'm saying like, okay, I'm gonna be a little extra, like we can have 2, which one of these is the favorite? This one actually. All right, so we're gonna keep this, that goes in there. We have a spaghetti noodle thing that we need. Good night, how many of these things? And then we have serving spoons. I'm gonna group those together. But we have so many tongs in here. Why do we have so many tongs? Oh, another pancake flipper. I didn't even know we had that in there. 3 spatulas. These are cute, but the Pampered Chef one, like hands down the favorite. So those 2 are gonna go in there. 1 ladle, another type of tong grabby thing. So I have 3 of this style, 1 of these. I'm gonna keep this one and 1 of these. I think these ones look the nicest. These are gonna go in here. And then a potato masher that gets used. Okay, and then I have 3 serving spoons. This one is a favorite, I know that. And then between these 2, I don't know, we can keep the blue one because it's cute. Okay, so I'm keeping these. We got it pared down. Now, the reason I will get ranty about like spatulas, because you're probably like, well, who cares? What's the big deal? The big deal is that when we have extra inventory and extra things, that they all get pulled out and used and get dirty. Now, with having your kitchen highly streamlined, one of the ideas behind it is that you have to do the dishes like every day or all the time, or you're not gonna have a spatula or anything. So if you'll stick with me, I really believe this is gonna pay off for you too. I'm mowing the lawn right there, darn it. All right, so we have this simplified, and now it was also hard to put stuff away when everything was clean. It was kind of all stuffed in here. Now it fits in here easier to get what we need, easier to put stuff away when it's all clean. All right, so again, working our way around the kitchen, I do want to tackle this cabinet a little bit. So we have a few things going on here. It's our coffee station, spices, and then also my dad keeps his meds there, which makes sense because when he makes coffee in the morning, it reminds him to take them. So it's all a great location for everything, but the spices, this Lazy Susan turntable, we've like overloaded it so it doesn't really turn anymore. And the other day my dad was like, I think we need to do something with it. I'm like, I'm on it. Just say no more, I have it, right? So I've been rolling around in my brain. What we need to do is get rid of the expired spices that no one is using and then just put in a little bit simpler organization. So why don't we tackle that real quick? Okay, so again, how do I make it so I can make super fast decisions and this doesn't take a long time? You have to have rules. So here's my rule for the spices. If it is expired, it goes. If it is a duplicate, it goes. If I can combine it, if the expiration dates aren't too far off, I can combine them. But otherwise, if it is expired or a duplicate, it goes. Also, if it's just something we don't use anymore, maybe I got it for a one-off recipe or something like that, it goes. So what I'm doing is making 3 different categories. I'm making a for sure, yes, we use this, it is staying. I'm making a middle ground. I'm coming across a lot. They're not expired, but I just don't think they get used that much. And then I have the for sure duplicates and expired. So then when I go to fill the shelf, I'm gonna put the for sure used ones back first, front and center, and then I'll fill in with the maybe use ones until it's full. I'm gonna use that as my limit and my container. And so this sorting process will make it very quick to make those decisions of what's going to go back into the cabinet. I'm also using this bamboo shelf. I used a similar one in my tiny house. It's expandable. You can see things, I could put a Lazy Susan back in there. I don't think we need it. We don't have as many. And I think this is just a little bit simpler and creates a better container. Okay, so here's where we're at. This is everything that was expired. This was duplicates. I did combine 2 cinnamons. I couldn't find the expiration date on the cinnamon. So I just combined 2 containers. I know I'm like a rebel without a cause, right? These ones were my maybe. They're not expired, but I don't think they actually get used a ton. These were my for sure keeps. And so I'm gonna put the for sure keeps in my new spice rack first, and then go in with the maybe. So if anything didn't fit, these would be the ones that would go, but I'm looking at it now, I don't think we'll have a problem fitting all of these. But what was the bummer was because we had all of this extra, we weren't actually seeing some really good seasonings that we have here. And so by clearing out the extra clutter, now we can see what we can have, we can use it, we can use things up and not have. We had 3 cinnamons. That is silliness, right? None of us need to be managing that type of inventory right now. Well, just like I think clutter is stealing your peace of mind, I also think your old junky mattress is stealing from a really great night's sleep. And today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep, and right now they have their Labor Day sale exclusive partner offer going on where you can save 27% off site-wide when you go to helixsleep.com/minimalmom. Now, I've been sleeping on a Helix mattress for over 4 years. I've recommended them to every family member. My kids sleep on it, my parents, my sister, and we all love them. And I showed a little bit ago that Helix Elite that we put inside my tiny home. Oh my goodness, that is the most comfortable mattress I have slept on in my entire life. We've had guests now that are like, what is this mattress? It is a dream. My sister just put a Helix in their guest room, and she said of the 3 people who have slept there, they were all like, what is this mattress? It's so comfortable. And so Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs and conveniently shipped right to your door. The Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses to choose from, and they recently launched a variety of mattress toppers. If you have a non-Helix mattress, you want to make it a little more comfy, we added one recently to Adeline's mattress, and she loves it and has been sleeping so much better. And they also have their kids' mattresses too. They are tested and approved by pediatricians and designed for growing bodies. And what I especially love about Helix is they make it easy. I know, I've been talking about overwhelmed brains. It's so easy to get matched with your perfect mattress too. You just go online, take their sleep quiz. It takes less than a minute. They're gonna give you a great mattress recommendation. For me, it's the Helix Dusk, and then it's gonna get delivered to your door. You're gonna set it up, and then they offer their 100-night sleep trial. So you get to sleep on it for 100 nights, test it out, make sure it is just the right fit for you. And if not, they have their Happy with Helix guarantee. And so they will help you with seamless returns and exchanges. And so if you've been thinking about upgrading your mattress, right now is the perfect time to do so with their Labor Day sale exclusive partner offer where you save 27% off site-wide. So just go to helixsleep.com/minimalmom to check out their full lineup of mattresses and know that they have some flexible payment options available as well. All right, good. I'm glad you're decluttering your old mattress. Now let's get back to the kitchen. And just to recap, if we're newer to each other, I'm so glad you're here, but just kind of like where I am, life stage, all of that. So I did get divorced almost about 10 months ago. Gross, I know. Ugh. And I moved in with my parents about 1.5 years ago. So I live here full time with my parents, and then also my brother, who is 2 years younger. So I'm 42, he's 40. He lives here, he farms with my parents. And so they have multiple businesses and farming and other stuff that they do together. And so he's here. We joke like he lives in the basement. I'm upstairs, my old, bedroom. I'm like, I'm in the penthouse, you're in mom and dad's basement, right? So anyways, we live in Minnesota, just outside of the Twin Cities, and this is the farm I grew up on. My parents have always lived here since they got married. It's awesome. My parents are the coolest. They have been so gracious and kind and letting me come back home. And then also I have 4 kids. So half the time there are 8 people here, 4 adults and then 4 kids ages 10 through 15. There's just a lot going on around here all the time. You may have also seen, I sometimes rent an Airbnb and I go there to video. I did a kitchen hushing video there that I just posted recently. So good. It turned out so much better than I was even expecting. So I can link to that. And then I also did get a tiny house park model that the kids and I use for a little retreat. So I've done some videos in there too, which has actually been really fun. It's just here on my parents' farm, but it's been a fun little place for us to get away to. So that's where we're at. Again, I never want to overstep when I'm in my mom's kitchen. And also sometimes it's hard not to, right? My mom knows it. She's awesome. She's been super cool, but It's hard. It's hard living with the minimal mom, I think. Okay, now I also get a little ranty about having clear counters, but it's for a reason. So I'm gonna just try and keep it like reeled in just a little bit. Why? Why, Dawn, is it so important to have clear counters? Again, visual simplicity. Our brains are overwhelmed. Your brain is tired. If at the end of the day you're like, I don't feel motivated to clean my kitchen, that is because it's too hard. And so when things are hard, our brain, if it doesn't have to solve it or fix it or use it to survive, it's like, peace out, catch you later. So if your choice is to clean the kitchen or scroll Instagram, your brain is gonna go path of least resistance. I am going to Instagram or Netflix or whatever we use to check out. There's nothing wrong with you. That's how your brain works. So if you've been running into that, and if you're like, yeah, but I really would like to stay on top of my kitchen better. Okay, would you do an experiment? Would you tell your family you're doing an experiment and try to totally clear off your kitchen counters? Now again, not my counters, but if this were my kitchen, I'm gonna show you and tell you exactly what I would do with everything that is currently living on the counters. Okay, so like I said, utensil candy, I saw cinnamon on the counter. That for me, that stuff would go into a drawer. Here we have, salt, pepper, butter, oil. If you have a cabinet where you can put it up, great. There's not here. I think it should just go on the corner of the open shelves here. This is not functional stuff. It's just for aesthetic. And then we also have fruit basket. Those can be a bugger, right? And then bread basket. So for all these things, I would prefer they live on this bottom shelf. Again, this is all decor, but we could be using it functionally. Now, if this was a cabinet in your house, probably a lot of this stuff could go into the cabinet. Or if you're like, Dawn, just for reals, if we don't have the fruit or bread out, like it will not get eaten, it will get forgotten about. Okay, I think we can learn to not have to have it out, but that's, if you're not there yet. They also make a lot of different types of shelves that you can put under cabinets. Like in this space here, you could put a shelf that you put a little fruit basket on or a bread basket or something like that. Again, so it's up off the counter. You're probably thinking like, you're just like, it's a little too far, right? But I'm telling you, if you will just try it, get everything up off the counter. So it's super easy to wipe it down. So it tells your brain at the end of the night, if anything's on the counter, that means my job's not done here. It needs to be put away. It makes it so much easier for your brain to process what's on here. Let's turn our attention to these shelves and I'll show you exactly how I would go about making some room here for this stuff. Okay, so I'm just standing back. I'm looking at this shelf and I'm saying, I want to clear the full bottom shelf so I can put functional stuff on there. And I want to simplify the other shelves just a little bit too. They tend to collect, but nothing gets taken away. And so I'm just gonna do the favorites first approach. There's a lot of memory items on here, which I love, I appreciate. And there's just some fun, colorful pieces. Again, I enjoy that. I really like my mom's kitchen a lot. I think it's very homey and welcoming and like it's good. I like it, right? But I just think it's gotten a little bit too much. So that's what I'm looking at, and that's my filter right now is what things should I pack away? I'm gonna put them in a time will tell bin. What things can get packed away for now? Again, I don't have to make any finite decisions, and we're just gonna test this out and try it and see how it goes. Okay, so it's not perfect. I'm gonna play around with it a little more. I don't know if we'll leave that guy or not, but that's the stuff that I want to stay, and then this is the stuff that we are gonna pack away into our time will tell bin. I also just realized I want some like towels or something soft to wrap this stuff up in, so we're gonna go visit the towel and dishcloth drawer real quick. I know there is stuff in there that we don't need, and so I'm gonna pull those out, wrap this up, put it in the time will tell bin, and then we'll get this stuff up off the counter and see how good it feels. Okay, now I don't want to get sidetracked on the towels. I want to keep making progress where I've been working, but I'm going to show you how this can go so quickly because I have clear criteria. I am only keeping dishcloths and dish towels that are absorbent. I don't know what that weird microfiber, it is not microfiber. Whatever those towels and dishcloths from the dollar store are, it says it's microfiber, it's not. If you want to push water around your dishes and your counters, they work great for that. But if you actually want something that is absorbable, these dishcloths continue to be my absolute favorite, and we just have cotton dish towels. They're mostly dirty and in the laundry, whatever, but from Walmart that are absorbent and work well. And so I am only keeping the ones that work well. And also you can see that this drawer is too full, right? And so when all of the laundry is clean, it is very hard to put stuff away. And so again, if you are avoiding your kitchen, if you don't like cleaning it, if stuff doesn't get put away, it's because it's too hard and your brain is too tired. So let's give it a break. Okay, that literally only took 2 minutes. 2 minutes, because I had clear criteria and my time will tell bin. I'm telling you, this makes decisions go really fast. And if you're coming across any like sentimental stuff, so I made this mug for my mom when I was pregnant with Adeline. It says, "My grandma doesn't bake cookies, but she'll teach me how to grow pretty flowers." And so, I mean, Adeline is 15, so this is over 16 years old. And is it still special to my mom? I don't know. It has lived on these shelves for 16 years. I feel like it served its purpose. Now, if it's so special, it could go in my mom's memory bin. Again, I'm gonna put this stuff back when my mom gets home, whatever. Or I think it would also be fun just to like take a picture of Adeline and my mom with it and let that be the memento. It means nothing to me. The lawnmower is coming by again, right? I don't want my mom to keep it for me. It was fun when I made it. I went to a paint your pot place with a friend. I needed something to make, but it doesn't actually have that much sentimental value to me. So I am totally fine letting it go. If she wants to keep it or whatnot, then that's, you know, obviously totally up to her. But sometimes sentimental stuff can just be for a season. Okay, so there are 3 things I want to get up off the counter, and that is the fruit basket, bread basket, and then the tray here. So let's bring those up and see how it feels. Oh my goodness, this makes my heart so happy. It will feel bare at first, and I really want to get these dishes out of the way now so we can fully experience it. Also, that's not the right basket for bread, so I'm gonna just play around with that a little bit more, but my brain just like sighs seeing this open counter space. And again, you might think like, oh, it's too bare, your brain needs simplicity right now. Would you just test it out? Would you do an experiment? Just try it before you say that it won't work in your house. Thank you, I appreciate it. Now at this point, I'm gonna tell you another non-negotiable, but at this point, I hope you are feeling some momentum, you're feeling some confidence in yourself, you're believing you have the skills and the tools to do this. And so I hope it is like propelling you forward. I am excited right now. Like I am feeling so good about this. And so I know from the outside, it can feel a little intimidating and just like a lot, but I really hope as you're getting into it, you're like, yeah, this feels good and I'm loving it. So I am gonna load the dishwasher quick, but there's not even a lot of dishes here, but we'll get those cleaned out. I'm working my way around, right? Another non-negotiable for me is nothing on the windowsills. Again, visual simplicity. If I want to wipe it down, I have to move everything, which I have. There have been times after I finish the dishes and I'm like, oh, I just want to, no, I'm not going to go through the effort of moving all of that stuff, right? And so you would not believe how much easier your kitchen is to keep clean once you get everything cleared off. Again, it's counterintuitive. It doesn't always feel right, I know, but if you'll just try it out. And so everything off of the windowsill is going into our time will tell container. You know what's kind of wild too is that even with all the work we've done, the time will tell bin is not that full. And I know sometimes people bust on the time will tell bin like, oh, you're just deferring decisions or stuff shuffling or something else. No, I think this is a very valuable tool. Look how quickly I've been able to make decisions. Now, obviously I have strong decluttering muscles and I can make decluttering decisions pretty easily, but this isn't my stuff. Look how quickly I can move through it. And I can tell my mom, hey, everything's here, right? This is a valuable tool. So don't discount it. If you haven't tried it, I really encourage you to do so. All right, now we're gonna move to this section. Dish rack, I'm coming after you, right? I don't think it's needed. So I'm gonna put these dishes away quick. We have a couple other categories of things we'll talk about, like frying pans and dishes, vases. We'll go through this cabinet too. But getting the counters cleared, best place to start. Like start there. The visual stuff, start there. I always start there. Then we'll get into the cabinets and whatnot. But I'm gonna get these dishes put away real quick. Okay, now again, just my humble opinion, I don't think most of us need dish racks, especially as you continue to get your kitchen even more simplified, and you really will. You will naturally be staying up on the dishes. It's like you want them done. Your kitchen wants them done. You want them done. It is the most bizarre thing if you've never experienced it. I am a messy person, right? I never have been a do the dishes every day, load the dishwasher at the end of the night. But even for myself, I found that I was like, oh, I just want to wash them up quick. I just want that task to be done. I want it over with. I want it complete. I don't want a bunch of stuff sitting out. So I don't think most of us need traditional dish racks anymore. So that is gonna go into the time will tell bin, and I think we can totally get by with this mat. It's pretty oversized too, so I think that is more than enough. Let's turn our attention to the stuff in the corner here. Now, the other reason I love clear counters, as clear as we can get them, is because anything sitting out becomes a clutter collector or a clutter catcher. So love the Ninja Flip, would not go without it now. Best air fryer slash pizza oven slash toaster oven slash toaster. You could get rid of like all of your appliances and just have one of these. And if you know me, I do not promote a lot of like small appliances or things, but this has been a game changer. Anyways, but between the dishes sitting out on the rack and that, you can see that there is some stuff here that has accumulated. It just needs to be put away. So we have a travel mug, and travel mugs go up here. Now, what's the problem? This is where we got to look at the data. So the reason this probably did not get put away is because it has to be just as easy to put it away as it is to leave it out. But the problem is it is too full up there. And so probably means we have too many mugs and water bottles or jars or whatnot. We're going to get to that. Can I squeeze it in or not? Well, actually, I'll just, it doesn't fit. I'm actually just gonna throw it in the time will tell bin. I don't even think we need this one. I think it's a duplicate. Okay. We have to respect the confines, the limits of our kitchen and what it's telling us. Too many water bottles and travel mugs. Got it, loud and clear, roger that, okay? All right, and then we also have a vase, and then vases go up on this side over here. Kind of running into the same problem. I'm looking right now at this strawberry vase. All right, we'll put that one up there. This was my fault. I saw this at Target earlier this year, and I think I paid $5 for it, right? I just thought it was so cute and it made my heart happy. And I'm like, I'm gonna cut flowers and I'm gonna put it in there. I have never used it. So what is the data telling me? I'm probably never gonna use it. Again, we're decluttering through the lens of, am I using it today? No. It's telling me loud and clear, and I'm not going to play the game in my head of, oh, but what if, or what if we host, or what if this or that. No, again, we don't have the luxury of that anymore. We don't get to keep all of this crap for just in case or someday. We can't do that. Remember, we've been managing a warehouse. We need to get back down to managing just a household. I'm getting ranty again. I just I just want to come to your house and take it from you and be like, no, you don't need it. I promise. I'm going to put this in there and I'm never even going to think about it again. I had forgotten it was even up there. Okay. And then I'm pulling out the Ninja Flip so we can look at the things that are behind here. Now this one is a little tricky. So I had shared Mother's Day video. I have an Ember mug, which is a rechargeable mug, keeps your coffee hot. Love it. I was trying to test out it's not keep warm, it's kept wham, whatever mug. I don't like it as much. It has the buttons on the side, it gets accidentally turned off. It's not as well balanced as the Ember mug. The handle's not as comfortable. So this was about half the price. I wanted to be able to endorse it and be like, yeah, for sure, just get a knockoff and it's great. I can't. Anyways, whether it's an Ember or one of these, what I just dislike about it is it has to be plugged in. So it just kind of is what it is. I'm very aware of it though, because it can become a clutter collector, but I use it every day. And so for now, it is what it is. And actually having it behind the flip though, we don't have to look at it as much. So that's good. But also when we did the pantry makeover for my mom, which I can link to that video, that was a really good transformation. If I do things all myself, this piggy bank came out of there and this is where it has lived. Again, I'm not busting on my mom at all. This is what happens. This is how it goes, right? So it got put over there. It's super cute. It says garden fund. My mom loves like flower gardening and perennial gardening and all of that, right? I don't even remember who gave it to her, but it was somewhat special and it has a lot of change in it. So it does not need to live here. It wasn't even meant to live here, right? So I just have to ask my mom, where else could he go and live? And then this was just lid to a storage container I was using in the bathroom. It's not getting used. We don't need it. So this I'm just gonna let go of, and this is feeling so much better. We have our skylight calendar, which still really like and use. So I'm gonna pull this together, and this is feeling so good. I thought it would be kind of like a good transformation. This has been way better than I was even expecting. I feel really good about it. Okay, so you'll often hear me talk about my membership group, and in there, we've actually made a few passes through here, through these cabinets, and we've made some room. However, the inventory has crept up again. So here we keep drinking glasses, coffee mugs, And then in this cabinet are like our dishes. This is supposed to be water bottles and travel mugs, vases, plates. And then this one actually down here, this was actually like a time will tell section. I had decluttered these, or I had sorted them out when my mom wasn't here, and then I put anything extra over there. And so this stuff has actually been time tested. So I think what I'm gonna do is pull that stuff out into my time will tell bin, and then I'm gonna move some of this stuff over there. So I'm gonna make a quick pass through all of this. All right, what's interesting to me here too is that there's just a lot of things that weren't in their right spot. Like the bottom shelf is for drinking glasses, the next up is for coffee mugs, or the next two up are for coffee mugs. We keep 2 sippy cups for when Diana's kids come. Those were on the wrong shelf. So even as I just got the cups stacked up together, got things on their right shelf, everything was starting to fit a little bit easier in the drinking cabinet. But I did decide to pull out a couple coffee mugs because it was just making it too tight. It was too hard to put stuff away. So I'm gonna put those in the time will tell bin. And then in the middle cabinet, again, there was like a water bottle laying down. Well, that was making stuff not fit in there well, right? So a lot of it was just straightening stuff back up, getting it to its right spot. Water bottles on this side and travel mugs, vases on the other side. And so getting it back in its spots, I didn't really have to pull out much. And there was a couple like mason jars that have crept in there. We don't actually use mason jars for anything, so those can go in the time will tell bin. And then the dishes, there were some plastic ones that have crept in that we just don't actually really need. I love the Corelle dishes. They wash up so easily. And so I don't know, they're light, they wash easy. I don't know what the magic like coating is on them, but they wash up so easily and so nicely. And so we don't really need the plastic dishes anymore. And so those are gonna just go into the time will tell bin. We can just check it out. And then also these plates were my mom's previous dish set before we got the Corelle, and they are so heavy. They're from IKEA, cute, love the color. So heavy. So these had been hanging out in there. I was time testing them to see if we actually use them at all. We don't ever use them. So we have these ones, and then we have some of the big dinner plates, totally unnecessary. So we'll throw those into the time will tell bin. And I thought I would have to put some stuff over there to time test. Didn't. The vases were actually fine. They just needed to get straightened up again. And so I had noticed it had been getting hard to put away, or there was stuff sitting down here instead of going up. Now it's super easy to put things away again. Okay. This is cute, right? Like it's happy, it's fun. We often have some fresh flowers here, a candle, like it looks nice, right? What's the problem? It doesn't ever look like this. This is such a clutter catcher right here. Stuff just gets set down here. A lot of it I moved off down to there, but it is constantly collecting stuff. So again, my preference for this season that we are in right now, where we're having a hard time staying on top of our kitchen, we don't get to have things like this. And that's fine. If we will work with our brain and our wiring and our season of life and our kitchen and its limitations, it makes life so much easier. Like, why are we fighting against it? Oh, because it's pretty. Oh, because there's supposed to be something sitting out on the counter there. Is there? Says who? Like, who's gonna come over and get you in trouble for not having it there? Again, just try it. We're just doing an experiment. So this all, I'm gonna take off. The flowers are they look okay in video. They're actually past their prime anyways. The candle, I'm gonna put down, we keep them under the sink, so that's gonna go there. And I'm just, for right now, for this season, I'm gonna take it off. We're gonna have nothing on the counter. And again, our brain is just gonna sigh and be like, that feels so much better, thank you. Okay, let's talk about pots and pans. Here's what can be tricky about pots and pans, is that if you ask the question, am I using it today? Is it serving me today? You could have 12 pots and pans and say yes, because we just keep using them and dirtying them. And so yes, you may use them every day, but you don't actually need that many. And again, it's making for big stacks of dirty dishes by your sink. So this question doesn't always totally fit for every category in our kitchen. So here is how I like to approach pots and pans. I like to say, use your stove as a template. So we're gonna pick out our 4 favorite pots and pans, and then you can have one bonus, so a 5th. Maybe you have a 5th burner, maybe you don't, but pick out your top 5. And I mean, hands down, the pushback will be like, that's not enough. I'm telling you, most people have way too many pots and pans. You don't need them. We lived with 3, right? And so you have way more than you need. I just know it right now. So pick out your favorites. Doesn't even matter if they're dirty, because you can just set it on your stove. So pick out your favorites. Those are the ones that we're gonna keep out and use. If they're dirty, it does not matter. And then everything else for pots and pans is gonna go into your time will tell bin. We're gonna test it out. You are gonna love this. Oh my goodness, it feels so good. You're gonna love this so much. We have one more frying pan that's just a little smaller. This is like our egg pan, but my parents took it camping, so I don't have it. But that would be my 5th one. I don't love, these are well, I don't even need to, I don't want to bash any brands. These are so heavy. They're beautiful. They work well. So heavy. Probably wouldn't. I don't want to link to it or anything because it just probably wouldn't be my preference, especially for my mom too. But anyways, it looks nice, right? All right, so these hands down would be the ones that I would keep. So I'm going to keep these. Everything else will go into your time will tell bin. See how quickly we can make these decisions? And real quick, the benefits of this, again, we don't have lots of dirty, gross pots and pans next to the sink. It's super easy to put everything away. It all fits in here so easily now. We've downplayed how when it is hard to put stuff away, we don't do it and we dread it. But when it's super easy because your drawers and cabinets are not stuffed full, it's just very natural to want to put it away. Our brain wants things in their place. And so it's so much easier to put stuff away when you have highly simplified it. We have done this at my parents' and it works great. Again, the fear was, oh, we're not gonna have enough. We do a lot of cooking here. Like there's always cooking going on. Like we're not gonna have enough pots and pans. We're always gonna be doing dishes. It's not like that at all. It's just easy and it feels so good. Okay, so here's where we're at. We have the counters cleared. I am just loving it so much. We just have one more section here that we'll work on. And so I hope what you find is that as you get your counters cleared, then you feel very energized to tackle what's inside of the cabinets. Okay, now this type of space is the absolute worst. And so again, if your brain is like, run, danger, like don't go towards it, go away from it. This is hard, this is horrible. I don't want to deal with this. Nothing wrong with you. Our brains hate mishmash. Our brains love categories, clearly categorized things. It loves that all the drinking glasses are on the bottom shelves and the next 2 shelves are just mugs. It loves clear categories and containers. Categorize and contain. Your brain loves that. Even if I'm not a hyper organized, love organizing containers kind of person, but I've learned this over the years. Categorize and contain, and your brain is so happy. So again, this is a mishmash. Ugh, gross. Your brain does not want anything to do with it. So we have to remind ourselves like, okay, I'm just gonna spend 5 minutes on it, or I'm just gonna look for easy stuff to put away. We've been talking about in our membership group that in a space like this, there's only 2 types of things there. Things that have a home and things that don't have a home. So what if you just dealt with everything that has a home and then the things that don't, you can set aside. You don't have to solve your whole kitchen today. It is gonna feel so much better even if you just get the stuff put away that has a home. And then you're also being refamiliarized with what's here and let it roll around the back of your brain. Like what's not working? What doesn't have a home? What is constantly sitting out on my counters? Collect that data and then you have some more information to work with to figure out solutions. So we really like having this charging station here. It gets used a ton, and also random cords and AirPods and who knows what just tend to collect there. It's just how it goes. And so I have to continually go through it. And so that's what we do. And I kind of have like a time will tell drawer over there too for cords and just random, I don't know, all the stuff the kids get with their electronics. I'm like, this is for a remote control car. This is for some other device or thing they got or whatnot. And so when I'm like, I don't think this is getting used, I put it in the drawer. And then if someone's like, oh, hey mom, where's my charging cord? I'm like, if it's not here, look in the drawer, right? And then it gets time tested in there. And then it's like, yeah, no one's gone looking for it. Then I move it out. And so we can use this idea of time will tell bins and time testing in a lot of different ways. But again, if this feels scary and intimidating to your brain, there is nothing wrong with you, but we just got to break it down, categorize it, contain it the best we can, and that will start to feel a lot better. Now, something else that I think is really important to talk about is visual simplicity. And I think we can demonstrate it with these like drying mats. If you were to say like, oh, which drying mat do you think is like more pretty or cute or fun? Well, for sure, the blue one is, right? This is the one from my tiny house. And I got it because I liked the pattern and the colors and everything. However, in there, it's a very simple space and it works. In here though, I feel like it would actually be too busy, and I intentionally got this one because it blends in with the counters. And so when we're picking out something like this, it's very important to ask ourselves, do I want this to be a focal point? Do I want it to draw my attention? And again, in the tiny house, there's like hardly anything to look at in there, so I'm fine with this. I don't leave it out all the time. And here, this gets left out 24/7. It is out all of the time, and I don't want it to be a focal point. I want the stuff on the open shelves to be the focal point. So this, I actually want it to blend in with the counter, and that's why I selected this color. Again, the more focal points they are, the more cluttered and messy it's gonna feel. And I know for some of us, we're like, well, no, that's cozy, that's homey, you know, how it just feels too boring. Again, I think this is different than even it was like 5 years ago. We're living in a very overstimulated world. Our brain needs more neutrals and more blank spaces than it did in the past. So what might have felt homey and cozy and cute in the past, now, unfortunately, our brain just reads as clutter and visual noise. So if you've been decluttering your kitchen, but it still just feels a little off or not as peaceful as you'd like, it could be because of things like this. And I also want to show you, I want to switch out the coffee mat too, and the charging station. I feel like that has gotten visually kind of overstimulating as well. Now, something that I think we all fail to realize when it comes to finding organization products, and if we're trying to create more visual simplicity and make something just look nicer, is that there's actually a lot of trial and error involved. Often people on Instagram or wherever, TikTok, make it look so easy. Oh, look, I just got this charging station, I put it in place and like, bam, it looks so awesome, right? And they don't show the multiple different products that they tried. And often we end up settling for something that's maybe not the best fit, because we just don't want to go through the process of ordering other ones or trying different things. And so I want to encourage you, as you continue to declutter your house, that I do think it's worth like putting a little effort in to find the right solutions, because when you have the right organizing product for the right space in your home, it really is something that we'll have for years and years to come. So I ordered this first one thinking that it was going to be so awesome. And so these are all variations of charging boxes, charging stations. This one I think is just too big and too bulky. And so I want it to live here instead of this basket, but I just don't like quite how much space it takes up. I don't think it's necessary. Although now I'm looking at it again, maybe it's not that big. I don't know. I pulled it out before and I'm like, no, too big. And then I ordered other ones. All right, well, let's compare. So then I also ordered this one. This one I liked because it has a white bottom and a bamboo lid. So I just liked, again, visual simplicity, how this looked. I liked the look of it a little bit better. And they both have adjustable things that can go on top that you can stand up your devices in. And then if you really just want to go with something like sleek and small, which would be my ultimate preference, to get by with like the smallest thing for the space. Okay, so this one actually comes with a bunch of charging cords as well. So this, I mean, talk about minimalist, right? I really like how minimal it is. And then it has all these USB plugs built right into it. That is very appealing to me. All right, but it's a little bit harder. Okay, so, but I also wanted it to have storage on the inside for just some of this random stuff. And this one does not have storage. So if you are just looking for a straight up charging station, I think this is awesome. I would definitely recommend this, but we need a little bit of storage inside of it too. So now we're down to these two. And I really just think I like how this one looks better. It's just not quite as bulky compared to this one. So why don't we get this one set up and see if we can make this all look a little bit better. Oh my goodness, I was like, I don't like how messy the cords look coming out the front. And then I'm like, yeah, maybe they could come out the back instead, right? Ugh, sometimes you have to think outside of the box. But between the lighter coffee mat and this new charging station, this just feels so much better. Talk about visual simplicity. We'll get this, I'm gonna put something heavy on here. We'll get this nice and flat, and man, it just looks so good. Oh, and I have been getting a lot of questions. Maybe you've seen the Aura ring that I've been wearing. I don't love promoting like gadgets and technology and stuff, but the data you get from this, especially like for sleep and other secular things, it has been really helpful. I've worn a Garmin watch for like ever, but it is just like next level data if you're into that. So if you're really in a place where you can like work on improving those things, if not, it's probably just gonna make you like feel guilty and add shame and whatnot. So that might not be helpful. But what I did, I just got the cheapest one available, like a open box, and it's like bright silver. It's not very attractive. And then I just got the silicone covers that go over it. They're really thin. They don't make it much thicker. Overall, the ring is kind of thick and it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's not as big a deal. So anyways, because there's been questions about it, there you go. And so then once we get things decluttered, we try out some new things, we find that we're kind of liking it. What I really like, this container's fine, but it's a little deep for this spot. And so I really wanted to find a different kind of just like tray. I wanted something under this stuff because the butter and the oil get a little grody. And then also for the bread, because this basket is like hanging off way too far. And so first I went to a couple thrift stores, and I know I've heard others of you say this, what seems to be such a bummer at so many thrift stores right now, and they're not all the same, but they have so much inventory, but yet the prices seem so high. And so I'm walking around and I'm looking at different things, and this dish caught my eye. I don't even know what it's supposed to be, but I had measured before I went. I'm learning, I'm getting better at this, right? And so I kind of had the dimensions in my, like what I wanted. And so this actually fit it really well. And then I look at the price and I'm like, $8? What? I could go to Home Goods and get something for $8, right? And then I don't know, is this brand? Maybe y'all could tell me. Is it because of the brand? Is it whatever? But regardless, the thrift stores are so full. Like, why are we not pricing this stuff to sell, right? Why are we like competing with new prices? I also saw like a white one that was really pretty, but I thought the color would be nice. And that one was $5, which isn't as bad, but anyways, I decided I'd rather buy something new used than new. And so I did, but I still don't like it, right? So I want to switch this out here, and then I'll also show you what I got for the bread. I don't know if it's going to work, but we can talk it through together. So, and I still really like this butter dish a lot because of the lid and the shape of it. So that's this stuff. So that I actually think works really well. Fits the shelf area well, and it's not so deep to have to put stuff up and into. So this we will add, I'm gonna wash it, and then we will add this to our time will tell bin as well. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to have something a little bit like retro vibes. Again, I looked at the thrift stores, or even like a basket or some kind of container that would work well. We need it to be sizable, right? If you're putting all your like bread and buns and that kind of stuff in it. So this, I saw on Amazon, and this is like a traditional bread box. And I think it'll fit here. Again, I measured, so it'll fit here really well. The problem is I don't know if having it closed, if things inside will get forgotten about. And also by having it have a lid that closes, you can't kind of like pile stuff over. Like this type of basket, if it gets a little fuller, you have some extra inventory, it's not a big deal. Where that, you could squish stuff or be limited. So even though I think it is super cute, and I like the color, especially with everything else, I don't think it's actually gonna be practical. And I am learning to go function over fashion now, right? So cute, I don't think it's gonna work. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and look for another open style basket for there. And something else that I had been noticing, and a big motivation behind me wanting to simplify my parents' kitchen even further, is that I noticed I wasn't having the kids help as much. And so when our kitchen was highly simplified and decluttered and streamlined and really basic, it was really easy for the kids to help clean and to help cook and then to clean up from the cooking. It was easy for them to make their own food and meals and to see what was out and needed to get put away. Here, it's a little trickier because there are things that live out on the counters, and for whatever reason that made it feel harder to ask them to clean up and to help cooking and to do all of those things. And so if you've noticed in yourself that you're not asking your kids to help, maybe because it feels overwhelming, it's too hard, or it never feels done. It feels like they can clean up and help, but there's still clutter around and it's not ever complete. I totally understand that, and I get why then we don't involve our kids in this, even though we want to. I was just listening to a really great podcast by Dr. Becky Kennedy with Jay Shetty, and she's a well-known parenting expert. And she was reiterating again how important it is for our kids to help with household chores. Not only do they need to learn the skills for life, but it gives them a purpose. It gives them a place in your family, and it builds their confidence. When they see that they can do these things and complete them and that you trust them with them, it builds their confidence like very few things do. And she said even sports don't build your kids' confidence in the way that household chores and helping and being part of a household do. So again, I get it. When our kids were really little too, like, and they had all these toys and all this stuff and all this laundry, and the kitchen was always a disaster, it was actually very difficult to incorporate them in it. They were always crabby about it. I was crabby about it, right? And so it just didn't happen. It was easier for me just to say, fine, I'll do it myself. But once we got our house highly simplified and decluttered, then it was actually very easy. It was easy to incorporate them. We did it every single day. They felt good. I didn't feel so martyred, right? That I was the only one doing everything. And so it was very win-win, and that also led to our house feeling very easy and manageable. And that's obviously what I want for you too. Okay, so again, let's recap the question and why it seems radical, but it is actually super safe. So the decluttering question I want you to use right now is, am I using this today? Am I using it this week, at the most this month? But am I currently using it in my current season of life with the age and stages of my kids and with the current activities and hobbies and everything that I do with myself and my spouse? Am I using it today? So that is the question. Here is why it is safe. Because you're already living that way. I used to see that it said we use only 10% of the stuff in our house. I think it's even less than that because the clutter in our homes and the inventory has crept up so much. I think we use less than 10% of the possessions in our house now. So why is it safe? Because you're already only using this small percentage of stuff that you use every single day, and it's just surrounded by all of this junk that you are not using. And the extra junk is just making your life harder. Now, I have been a minimalist for 10 years, and this is how I have lived. And in the beginning, it was an experiment. I would not have been so confident as to say, if you're not using it today, get it out of your house. Because I didn't know. I needed to test it. I needed to collect data. I needed to work with other women. I needed to see my kids go from ages 4 and under, now to ages 10 through 15. I've gone through some big life transitions too, right? We've had really hard, crappy times. I had to see how did this low inventory work during that? How did it work during some okay times? How did it work moving out of my house and moving in with my parents? All these different seasons, right? And as the kids have changed and interests change and activities change and all of this. And I'm here to tell you, 10 years in of living this way, I could not imagine ever going back. Now, why is your brain fighting you? Because we associate having little or only a few things with scarcity or lack. It's just how your brain's wired. So this is hard. This is the tension or the conflict that you're feeling right now. Is, like I said in the beginning, your brain is so tired and stressed and overwhelmed. It just wants a break. And also, it's like clinging to all this stuff and it's like, whoa, wait. You used your precious resources to acquire that. And our brain is outdated. It was created during times when we didn't have all of this abundance and all of this stuff around us. And so our wiring is outdated. It has not caught up with our current reality of how we can acquire things. And so it is going to just switch into scarcity. It's going to switch into, but you could use that into creative ways that you could use it, or the someday mentality and the but what if. And so we have to work against our brain. And that's why we really have to rely on rules and tools and making quick decisions. And again, that's where the time will tell bin can help us to time test things, to test out these decisions before we make the final step of decluttering those items. And so that's why I think this is a pretty safe process. I have my own experience I'm drawing on. I've worked with thousands of women who then come back and tell me the exact same thing. We have the time will tell bin, which helps make anything you're on the fence about an easier decision. And you've already been living this way anyway. So just get rid of the other stuff surrounding the stuff that you actually use, and your house is going to be so easy, and you are going to feel like a rock star because you can finally stay on top of it. All right, well, like I've said, 20 times already, this feels so much better than I thought it was even going to, right? Man, I just like, I feel like I've just like let out an exhale and I'm like, okay. And now I actually want to go like cook dinner or something, right? And it feels super easy to keep clean. And so if you need help decluttering and simplifying your home, I would love for you to subscribe so that we can spend more time together. I have over 800 videos to help you declutter every area of your house. I am gonna link to the pantry makeover. That was revolutionary, especially if your pantry has gotten a little cray-cray. And also our long format decluttering videos, that playlist, those are really great to put on the background, because we need to be constantly reminded of, wait, why am I doing this? Why am I getting rid of perfectly good things? What's the benefit? What's gonna be the payoff? And so having those on in the background can be very helpful from what I hear. All right, well, I'm excited for you. I believe in you. I know it takes a little bit of work, but you've got this. I love you. I hope you have a really good day, and I'll see you again soon.